stuff to talk about this morning in the world of politics, both local and national. John Dadian is here with us this morning, and you mean business this morning, I should say.
A lot of stuff.
Yeah, you want to start with the poll that we've been talking about all morning? The new Mayoral Race poll has come out, and a lot of conflicting approaches to how you want to take this in, right?
I don't consider it a poll. I consider it more of a survey because it's not scientific at all, and anybody can vote, including non-registered voters.
Well, let's back up. Non-scientific, explain that to our viewers, what you mean by that.
When a professional pollster does a poll in the field, they do based on demographics. Depending on what, let's say in this case the city of San Diego, it has to be registered voters, so many women, so many men. It has to mirror what the demographics are of that particular district. Anybody can vote for the candidate of their choice.
Okay.
So what should we take with the numbers as we're seeing them, over 4,000 votes cast so far?
Well, the first thing I take out of it is that the Fletcher supporters got the word to go online and vote.
Yeah.
And there was something else you mentioned about voting on this via computer. You could do it multiple times? Or
once per day. Once you do vote, it blocks it there, but according to the UT, you can do it once per day. And again, literally a 10-year-old could be voting on this for all we know.
Does this, are we looking though, I mean, the poll that came out, what was it, 2 weeks ago, that showed DeMaio with a slim lead over Fletcher. Are we seeing a movement there? Is there definitely a trending going towards the Assemblyman's way now?
Well, that poll, again, was a scientific one. Again, some other pollsters have some concerns about, even though that was a scientific poll, about some of the methodology used on that particular company. However, I think you definitely see some movement, without a doubt. Fletcher is clearly on the move. I think what you're seeing is one of the oldest rules in either political consulting or anything in business or life. You don't want to peak too early, you don't want to peak too late. Okay, we're a little bit over 40 days. I think Fletcher's making the move at the right time.
What do you think about Bob Filner's approach so far? He hasn't come out with his pension plan program yet. Do you feel like he needs to make a statement, or he needs to come out and be more forceful about his campaign?
Oh, absolutely. I think I think there's a very good possibility that Congressman Bob Filner is going to have a June surprise, that he very possibly could finish not in the runoff. And that would be surprising to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Why would he do that? Why would he kind of lay in the weeds this long? You know, he's seen the polling. Why wouldn't he change his tactic? Maybe he will.
And again, there's been some criticism of some of his opponents that they're not running a good campaign or making mistakes, et cetera. So that's why they call it a campaign. It happens. I think Bob got a wake-up call that early on he made a statement at the end of last year that he was going to be the Democratic nominee, you know, de facto. And I think when he saw that he wasn't really getting up there in the numbers, he started campaigning a little bit more actively.
John, I want to talk to you a little bit about voter registration here in the state of California. We had a story earlier in our broadcast about the higher percentage of eligible Californians actually moving to become independents. What does it say about the state of California right now?
I think there's two aspects coming into play here. One is clearly voter dissatisfaction. We've seen the last cycles for over a decade increase the independence, but also I think it is the increase in technology. Again, over the last couple cycles, everything from the internet to so much information out of there. It's so easy for people. The people that were informed before, they're always going to be informed. But now people who weren't really that interested, it's so easy for them to get a tidbit here and there of information that now they are starting to get more active. And I think that's what you're seeing, big rise in numbers.
But why independent? I mean, is it just satisfaction with, you know, neither one of the parties?
That's exactly what it is. And again, we've seen, you know, there's a feud, and the media has called it that, which I think is accurate, between the county Republican Party and Nathan Fletcher. You know, starting with his switch, but it's become venomous. It's become personal. That's turned a lot of people off. We were talking about.
Yeah, and there's a history there, a big history there of that kind of attitude.
Absolutely. We were talking before, and I was explaining the difference between a scientific poll. I do my polling with a man and woman on the street, the average voter, and I can't believe how many say to me, boy, I've been a Democrat for all these years. Man, they're doing something wrong. Boy, I'd love to be Republican. I just don't like the way they're doing it. It's amazing. I keep getting that on major parties.
Yeah.
Let's go nationally now. Talk about Rick Santorum sending an anti-Romney fundraising letter this past week. What exactly happened, and what could we see happen to Mitt Romney from this?
I'll use a very scientific term. It's called the big oops. They're saying it was a mistake. A lot of people, including me, don't believe that. Those type of things just don't happen. There's supposedly going to be a famous meeting within 2 weeks of Santorum and Romney. I don't think this sets up the meeting very well.
Tell us exactly what was in the letter. What happened?
It was a fundraising letter, which is not a surprise, and it was specifically in the state of Iowa. So they're doing this around the country as far as still trying to retire the debt. You'll notice that was one reason why he suspended his campaign and didn't technically withdraw, because if you're still a candidate, you can still raise money to retire the debt. So he's still raising money, but he basically said some very anti-Romney things, saying that he's afraid if Romney gets in and those type of things. This is more than a week after he officially dropped out. It was just not a good move.
And they're calling it a mistake.
It's a huge mistake, I think, because the whole reason for, keep in mind, Santorum has not endorsed Romney yet. So the whole reason for this meeting in 2 weeks is to, what does Santorum want to put on the table? Does he want a position in the cabinet? Does he want something to hire? He wants something out of it, perhaps a speaking role at the convention. It's going to be very tough for him to ask for something now, I think.
Who knew dogs would become such a big topic?
Who let the dogs out?
I mean, what is going on with this?
They're calling it the dog fight of 2012, right? Explain to our viewers what's happening. Especially if you're a dog lover, you might.
And I think all of us are. I know all of us at this time. So what happened was, for now several months, because of a story that came out, that the Romneys went on vacation one time and put their dog on top of the car in a crate, but it was a 12-hour drive. It was up to Canada. There was a lot of bad things. And as a dog lover, I thought that was pretty bad, without a doubt. But now it's interesting. The Romney people are coming back, and they're going back to a book that the autobiography of what President Obama wrote, that he, as a child, being raised in Indonesia, ate dog meat. So a lot of dog lovers are up in arms about that. So it really is the feuding dog stories. But a lot of people, for example, we've used, this is how serious it's getting. We've used a term on this show, we've explained what a super PAC is. There's a super PAC, a specific one called now Mitt's Mean. And then the subtitle of it is Dog Lovers Against Romney. So that's how serious they're taking this.
One other national hot topic, Newt Gingrich still using Secret Service for wherever he goes, pretty much.
Starting to get a lot of criticism on this. It's costing, again, because it's a security issue, they won't tell you specifically, but it's estimated at a minimum $45,000 a day for Newt Gingrich, when a lot of people don't think that he really needs it at this point. And again, if he would have stopped being a candidate, that would end immediately. But that's still ongoing. To give you an example, to make it an apples and apples comparison, in 2008, John McCain, who had locked up the nomination way before, as we speak today in April, he didn't get Secret Service protection until right about this time, third week of April. And Newt Gingrich has had it now for several months. It just doesn't bode well for somebody who made a career saying, I'm a good conservative, I fight for the taxpayer.
$45,000 a day is the estimated amount.
Absolutely. Just for Newt Gingrich's service.
All right. Well, John, we always appreciate your insight on things.
Full table this morning, John.
Yeah, absolutely.
Full plate.
And if I could, let me give a shout out,
Yes.
something to my background. This is the 90th anniversary Marine Corps Aviation Ordnance. So happy birthday to all ordnancemen.
Oh,
Happy birthday.
John, thank you.
Happy birthday. Thank you for bringing that up, John.
Thanks, John.
All right.
All right. 2008 Democratic presidential candidate John